What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title's going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it in the title. Definitely bad news for Tim Walz and Mayor Jacob Frey. Could be federally charged with a crime due to their targeting of ICE. And I know a lot of y'all have seen this and seen how, crazy it has gotten. I definitely got to show y'all some pretty wild things, tonight, but one thing about it is that I truly feel as if it's definitely, that time, to start, applying a little bit more pressure. Check it out.
Room full of immigration agents and officials telling them that the Trump administration is standing by them and they should not have to do their jobs in fear.
There's this narrative on social media that they're going to get in trouble, that locals are going to go after them. That is bull.
Blanche told the agents the DOJ will go after anyone who lays a finger on them.
Time your officers get touched, that is a federal crime being committed against them. And my marching orders from President Trump all the way on down, Attorney General Bondi all the way on down, is that every single time that happens, we will prosecute.
Blanche tells Fox the Trump administration will not tolerate Governor Tim Walz or Mayor Jacob Frey's anti-ICE rhetoric.
When the governor or the mayor threaten our officers, when the mayor suggests that he's encouraging citizens to call 911 when they see ICE officers, that is very close to a federal crime.
This week, 6 employees at the U.S. Attorney's Office here in Minnesota who were not aligned with the Trump agenda were fired.
It will not even slow us down a little bit. As a matter of fact, they were fired earlier this week. We've already replaced them. Good riddance. We're good.
And here in Minnesota, DHS tells us today that Operation Metro Surge has now resulted in 3,000 arrests of illegal migrants. Brett.
One thing about it is that I truly want, and I know a lot of y'all feel the same way, that Tim Walz and Jacob Frey definitely need to be held accountable for their actions of what they've been causing, because it truly has been ridiculous. Every time I get on X, I've seen how bad things are, and it's truly disgusting on how they're moving. I'm not gonna lie, definitely disgusting. You have here this Caitlin Collins. This post is from Nick Sorter. Says a federal grand jury has already begun issuing subpoenas for Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey regarding their conspiracy to obstruct ICE operations. The DOJ is definitely moving quick, which, we've been definitely waiting on. We've definitely been waiting on. It's definitely a great thing, to see them doing something about it. Check it out.
Person familiar tells me that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and the Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey are both being investigated by the Justice Department. And a grand jury has issued subpoenas for both of them, though it doesn't appear that either have been served yet. What we do know tonight as we come on the air is that the Justice Department investigation centers on possible obstruction of federal law enforcement. Both the FBI Director Kash Patel and the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche were in Minneapolis today. And just a short time ago, Todd Blanche was on Fox News attempting to explain why the Justice Department is taking this action.
When the governor or the mayor threaten our officers, when the mayor suggests that he's encouraging citizens to call 911 when they see ICE officers, that is very close to a federal crime.
Person familiar tells me that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and the
So one thing when it comes down to it, y'all, and I try to stay posted. I try to stay posted as much as possible when it comes down, to a lot, and I try to gather, as much things, as I possibly, can find when it comes down, to Tim Walz and Mayor Frey, because I don't see how, and I love that they're, doing this, issuing, subpoenas for them and stuff like that. I just truly feel as if, and I don't want to be, I'm not trying to be that person, y'all, that's just like, that person that's just, oh, we just got to go straight on aggressive mode. It's not even that. It's just a simple fact that I truly feel that what they're causing right now, somebody can, I have to watch what I say. Things can get worse. things can definitely get worse if they keep talking and moving how they moving. And I'm not just talking about 1, 2, 3 individuals. More individuals when it comes down to it, just because of how they're moving, and it's definitely sad, that they're doing this. You got it right here. It says Mayor Jacob Frey says order would be restored to Minneapolis once federal law enforcement leaves. He's created chaos by inciting violence against ICE in order to try to keep as many illegals as possible. Frey is a traitor and a criminal, and he needs to be arrested.
Order would be restored, and I will make this prediction, if those federal agents left. As soon as they leave, we will have peace, we will have safety, and order will be restored. Thus far in 2026, last I checked, we had only had 4 shootings. 2 of them were ICE. An entire city of 435,000 people, 4 shootings, and 2 of them were ICE. It is clear that the practices that ICE is using is unconstitutional. They are not methodical. They are not well planned out. They have taken people out of their cars to detain them on major streets, left the car running, not in park. Car rolls down the streets. You don't need to be a genius to figure out that that is not safe. We've had small children that have been damaged by the inhalation of some form of gas. We've had loose dogs that were left unattended in the streets after ICE arrested and drove away with its owner. This is not making Minneapolis safer. This is not about safety.
Let me explain something to y'all. One thing that Mayor Frey is doing is hyping people up. He's hyping people up. Just judging by his face and how he's looking, they do this to hype people up, to anger people, to do everything they can to cause more and more chaos as much as possible. And then when they create that chaos and you have law enforcement that reacts and do their job, what they're supposed to do, not only that, but to protect themselves, then they blame it on those agents and on President Trump and the Trump administration. And that's what I have an issue with, and that's what people don't see. And that's why I take it upon myself to get on here and talk about it, because it definitely is, and call it out, because this is definitely ridiculous. I just showed y'all a video. If you haven't seen this video, it's literally of Ilhan Omar defending Waltz and Frey by saying they can do literally whatever they want.
After we spoke, we know that reporting emerged that the Department of Justice may have been investigating Mayor Frey, Governor Walz. When you see that, what's your reaction, and are you concerned that there is some sort of weaponization of government resources happening here?
There's definitely a weaponization of government resources that are happening, but it's also that retribution that the president said he was bringing to Minnesota. This is an extension of it. Now he wants to criminalize the duly elected governor and the mayor for exercising their office in the protection of their residents. They are in charge of local law enforcement, whether it is our Minneapolis police or our state troopers and the National Guard, and it is their prerogative to figure out how to utilize them in the protection of their residents. And the fact that the president thinks it is okay for him to try to charge and bring criminal charges against those that represent us is something that Minnesotans are not going to stand for, and Americans shouldn't either.
So, in other words, again, saying, defending, and saying they basically can do whatever they want. Not only saying that Tim Walz and Frey, but a simple fact that Minnesotans, can do whatever they want. They're not trying to calm this down whatsoever. I'm sure many of you have saw. You have here at least 11 government vehicles or rentals driven by federal law enforcement vandalized at a hotel in Minnesota overnight. They're literally having individuals, and I wouldn't lie to y'all. Y'all can look this up on X. They're literally having individuals follow masculine men, that's walking down the street, or they see or suspect that they're ICE, and, assault them, do different things, and it's definitely insane. Follow them, record them, and doing different things, just to mess with them. And it's truly sickening that they're doing this and acting like this. Truly, truly insane. This is Minneapolis rioters successfully breaking into a weapons locker in a federal vehicle, stole a rifle and ammunition before fleeing. Nick Sorter, I'm pretty sure he, recording this. He captured the thief's face, license plate on the getaway vehicle, and it's pretty insane of what they're actually doing. So they're taking multiple things out of here. Y'all can find a lot of this, at Nick Sorter. I don't want to play too much or, get in trouble, with this. But you literally have all these individuals that are causing a lot of chaos. And obviously Ilhan Omar, Jacob Fry, and Tim Walz think this is something that's definitely okay to do. And this is not. This is not what you do. There's one thing about walking down the street protesting with signs, I truly don't get, why individuals are even doing that. Like I said, I'm not a person that goes and protests, but I definitely say that I'm definitely a person, that's just be a little bit more, just be peaceful, and I'm definitely understanding, and I don't know what everybody's, obviously thinking and how they feel about situations. So I don't want to say, oh yeah, just don't go out there, and I know I get mad sometimes, be like, oh, why is people out here? But one thing about it is, like, people out there peacefully protesting, you walking down, the sidewalk, stuff like that, you do that. But to have people that are looting, breaking into federal vehicles, throwing ice water bottles, throwing different objects, breaking into cars, spray painting cars, this is something that, they're truly causing, and I find it completely insane that they're not trying to calm this down. So this individual that did take this rifle, he is in police custody, as y'all see, and it has been posted, for, this individual doing that. It's definitely sickening that you have an individual that's, that did this. Truly, truly sickening. Truly sickening. Right here, this is Nick Sorter and, Brandon Tatum, literally going over what has happened in Minnesota, and calling it an insurrection against the federal government. Check it out right here.
So right now, he's literally standing right outside in his craziness. Nick, can you tell us, man, what the F is going on in Minnesota?
Brandon, I don't know how else to put it. This is an insurrection. This is an insurrection that's going on out here, and it's getting worse by the day. They took full advantage of the fact that Minneapolis police don't respond to calls for help from federal agents. And so when the federal agents had to, they were being overrun last night by rioters in the streets, and those rioters decided to, they started breaking into cars. They started trying to set cars on fire. They started looting federal vehicles. And I even have a video of them stealing a select fire rifle out of an FBI vehicle, and they were able to get away. That's just for anybody that doesn't know. That's a rifle that can be switched to fire automatic. Yeah, and now that's on the streets in Minneapolis in the hands of some clearly very deranged people. And man, we're beyond time to send Marines out here, invoke the Insurrection Act. Innocent people are going to be killed. I mean, it's a matter of time, man.
No, 1,000%. I saw the same thing. I'm like, there's a difference between protesting. And I think in this country, we need to be very clear. You can protest. You can make your voice be heard. But when you start breaking into vehicles, which is vandalism, when you start blocking the roads, which is obstruction of traffic, when you start going and killing or trying to assault and stalking ICE agents, you are now going into the realm of breaking federal law.
Definitely. And it's definitely sickening that these individuals are doing this. As Border Patrol Commander Greg Bonvino fires back at Tim Walz and Jacob Fry, who say ICE is making Minneapolis less safe. One thing about it is that they never take accountability. Obviously, they've seen, if we've seen it, I know they've been seeing it, on how bad they're doing, how bad they're these individuals are doing in Minnesota, rather if it's, you know, some Minnesotans. I know there's a lot that has been commenting on my videos and saying that it's pretty insane. So again, I know a lot of these individuals. I know, you know, you have individuals that are paid, individuals that are bussed in from different areas that are causing a lot of this chaos. Check it out right here, Greg Malvino.
100% wrong. We make the city much safer. Those double-digit drops in crime that we've seen in every single city that we've been to, that's taking place here in Minnesota and in Minneapolis as well. Those double-digit drops in crime, those statistics cannot be refuted. And if they would take a minute to look at those statistics and look at the good that the U.S. Border Patrol, ICE, and all our law enforcement partners, the good that we do, perhaps they could tone their rhetoric down, join us in this march to making the homeland safe, making the city safe, and assist us. That's what we've always wanted, Allie, is to work with our state and local partners. When we work together, there's much less violence, oftentimes zero violence, and we get that Title VIII mission accomplished. We saw that in Louisiana. That's what we want to do. And also to that rank and file at Minneapolis Police Department. A lot of the rank and file talk to our agents and our officers on the streets. They're glad and happy that we're doing what we're doing. And our hat's off to you. We know you've got a difficult mission there in Minneapolis, starting back in 2020. They weren't supported then. They had a large drop in police officers because many had to quit because they weren't supported by their leaders. Well, guess what, Allie? The U.S. Border Patrol, ICE, and the federal partners, we support them. We'll continue to support them. You're our brothers and sisters in blue. And despite what your mayor says, despite what some of the out-of-control politicians say, despite what this vocal, very small majority of anarchists say, we support you, we salute you, and we love you.
Come on now. Love it. Not even gonna lie. Definitely love it. Definitely sad a lot of things, you know, that has been going down. I've heard as you know, there's individuals that are having, this is true story. There are individuals that are out there with toddlers, literally babies, that's protesting and seeing how bad those things are. Why would you even take your baby to that, you know, through that environment? So I feel like this is something that definitely needs, you know, that they need to take more action on, because it definitely is very, very sad and sickening that they're doing this. National Guard Humvees just been spotted in Minneapolis ahead of a mass protest that's going on. So definitely something that I truly, truly love, truly appreciate, is that a lot of these things are definitely, you know, coming together when it comes down to it. You know, I definitely love it. You know, you're having plenty, you know, Humvees that are riding around with, you know, National Guard inside of them. And looks like they're pretty much, you know, ready to go when it comes down to it, because they're seeing how bad things are definitely, you know, getting, you know, definitely sickening though. Definitely sickening. One thing about it, Tom Homan just unveiled his magnificent, let's call it mega magnificent database plan that will expose the full names, faces, and employer of all leftists who interfere with ICE deportations. So definitely, like I said, this is definitely what, you know, I voted for, you voted for, is, you know, some great, amazing creativity, you know, to put a stop to a lot of things.
Create a database. Those people that are arrested for interference, impediment, assault, we're going to make them famous. We're going to put their face on TV. We're going to let their employers in their neighborhoods, in their schools, know who these people are. Because as you said, a lot of these people, they say they're taking time off work to protest. I bet you a lot of them are calling in sick. I bet you a lot of their employers don't know what they're doing. Create a database. Exactly.
A lot of them, and it's definitely sickening that they're doing this, you know. And it's I truly don't know to this day why these individuals are even doing this. I truly don't. It's not helping. It's not making the country better whatsoever, especially what y'all standing for. This is the same individuals y'all standing for that, oh, we care about the Somalians, this, that, and the other. But trust and believe, those Somalians that they're saying they're caring for not only are stealing from you, but not out there protesting with you. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.